what's going on, everybody? Welcome. Postgame show right here on YouTube. Tusk Talk with Ty, postgame show. Well, it's nice to have a game in before like 9:30 at night, isn't it? It's pretty nice. Not gonna lie. Well, I'm gonna get done with this bad boy. I'm gonna eat a hamburger, my dinner, and then that's it. I'll be in bed before 10 o'clock. Maybe I could get caught up on on a show or something. All right. What's up? Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe if you're new here. Yeah, it helps. It helps a lot. Check out all the links provided for you down below. Shout out to Patreon supporters. Right now we're at 120. 120 for the month of November. Was hoping to see that number continue to climb. It didn't, but that's all right. That's okay. Patreon is awesome. Transfer portal stuff's about to fire up. We know that all begins next week, but really, like, this is the week where you start to see players. The year's over, and players are starting to, claim that they plan on entering the portal. So, of course, that's going to ratchet up in terms of, who Arkansas targets and whatnot. So, we'll again, like I always say, we're going to do our best to keep up with all that. Yeah, I got a lot of XP to hand out. Awesome. Yeah, there was how many total predictions? And every one of them were for Arkansas. 31, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so at least it's not 40, so no double XP. But still, that's going to be a ton of predictions or a ton of XP I got to hand out. So I'm looking forward to that. Shout out to Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. Same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than best results. Free estimates, 501-244-3667. Again, that's 501-244-3667. Check out their link below. If you want to join Patreon, man, it is worth it. It is worth it. We're gonna be keeping a close eye on like I said, not just the portal, but recruiting as well. We got signing day and all this stuff. It's all happening. So we have a poll up. A win is a win, but are you worried about Hog Hoops? 68% of you currently say, yeah. Yeah, Ty, I'm a little concerned here. So right now, that number, a pretty big lead here. 33% of you say no. A couple things that happened today tonight that was a little bit surprising. And I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't doing my typical, like, keeping up with the stat sheet the entire game like I normally do. I did in the first half. We know Arkansas came out looking sluggish as per usual, right? As per usual, looking kind of sluggish. Miami gets a pretty good lead there, and you're thinking, oh, here we go. Can't win. Can't play well away from Bud Walton Arena. You're struggling against a not good Miami team. By the way, this is not a good Miami team. All right. Someone in Discord. Who was that in Discord? Speak up. Where are you at? Miami's not a bad team. Drake, Oklahoma State, BCU, Charleston Southern. Those are their losses. They're on a 4-game losing streak. No, it's not that early to look at a team and go, yeah, I think they're going to be pretty bad. Usually the writing is on the wall when you have losses like that. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to be atrocious all year, but right now they are not a good basketball team. And they started off looking really good. Of course, knocking down, everything. Miami started off shooting hot. I think it was at one point, 26 to 15. I think that was the largest lead, an 11-point lead. Correct me if I'm wrong. Arkansas was able to kind of keep this thing close. They got pretty close there. Even in the first half, they brought it within, after Miami, was just knocking everything down. Arkansas was able to bring this thing within 3, trailing 15 to 18. Still gave up 40 points to Miami in the first half. They're not a bad shooting. They're not. We've gone over this. Miami is actually a pretty decent shooting squad. At home, they can knock down the three ball really well. The first half, this was really a tale of two halves. Arkansas looked rough. Scoring 32 points in the first. They ended up scoring just 12 more points total in the second half with 44 points. Miami with 40 points in the first half, 33 in the second. But Arkansas, again, starting with the first half, looking at some of these numbers, very concerning, right? Miami shoots about 31% outside off 13 attempts. All right, that's not bad, but they were just missing shots. Several uncontested shots. They did, however, shoot 50% overall. They're 15 of 30. That's what they do all year. They're like a 49, 50% shooting team. They were 6 of 7 at the free throw line. I do think there were some tacky calls, but again, I'm not going to look at this and go, well, officiating, blah blah blah. There were some tacky calls on both ends of the floor, but I'm not mad at this one. At least not in the first half. Arkansas won the rebound battle here in the first. No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at that wrong. They had Miami had 18 to Arkansas's 17 rebounds. So you got out-rebounded by one of the worst rebounding teams in the country in the first half. So Miami, again, 15 to 13 from the floor in the first half, 4 of 13 outside, so about 31%, 85% at the free throw line. They had 4 offensive boards, 18 rebounds. Again, we're looking at just the first half numbers. 4 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks, 4 turnovers, 7 fouls. Cleveland for them was really good. He had a couple really nice dunks. I'm sure there's going to be some ESPN highlights on this one. It's an SEC ACC matchup, so on and so forth. It is. We're going to hear this a lot, but it is Cal, and Miami not that long ago was a Final Four team, and lately not so much, but Cleveland was really good for them. What bugged the hell out of me was Pack. This dude is hobbling up and down the floor, and he has 12 points, 4 boards, 2 assists, 1 turnover in the first half. He goes 5 of 8. This dude they were talking about it on the broadcast. He was grimacing in pain. He was feeling it, and he still had double-digit points and 4 boards and a couple of assists. Bro, what is going on with Arkansas's defense? They were getting beat off the dribble. Boogie Fland got beat off the dribble tonight. Miami is not that caliber of a team. They're not. You can understand, a couple possessions. It was like every other possession when they tried to dribble drive right to the rim, they'd blow right by somebody. The first half defense was not good. And again, Miami just missed shots, 4 of 13 at home. I don't know on the year if that's one of their worst starts outside, but just knocking down 4 of those threes, that was good for Arkansas, obviously, because there were several uncontested shots. Awful defense in the first half. And if Miami was a halfway decent team, that's 50 points easy in the first half. 50 points. Easy. Arkansas in the first half, Thero had as many assists as he did points. No steals, no blocks, just 2 boards, 3 points, like I already pointed out. Boogie Fland, 3 of 6 shooting in the first half, 2 of 3 from outside. He had 8 points in the first. You had quite a few guys rotate in. I think they ended up with about a 9-player rotation. Nelly started off his typical slow self. Defensively was not good. I don't think he was the worst on the floor, but in the first half, again, it was just, I don't know. I don't know what I would say defensively, that was just some of the worst. And I don't know if that's like Illinois just kind of creeping, in the back of their minds. I don't know. But got to do better. Got to be better. Again, if you're just joining us, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Check out all the links provided for you down there. Down below. Oh, boy, do we have Kentucky folks in the chat here. Yeah, we're going to talk about the good too, though. There's plenty of good here to talk about, but there's also some problems. Mello says that's Boogeyman. Yeah, that was Boogie, defensively just smoked, but then kind of, turned it around. Over the hump victory on road. Boy, we need that. Guys fought hard, love the effort, regardless of the slops, says Camo, and that's fair. That's fair. Again, there is a poll. Take it. I dare you. Take the poll. A win is a win, but are you worried about hog hoops? 58% of you. The number's come down a little bit. It's coming down. Mellow 501 says we got to play TB more. He our best big. I don't know about that one. Ty Brennan says seems like we should drive. Boy, did you see them? Thero couldn't finish around the rim. I mean, they missed. We're going to look at that too. How many layups did they miss? They missed shots, easy shots around the post, man. Arky 56, the infamous Arky 56, aka Dad. Arky still can't defend the three. It's wild because before the Illinois game, they were pretty good at chasing people out off the perimeter. They were pretty good at that. And something happened against Illinois. I don't know. I mean, Illinois just really could be that good of a team. I think that was more just Arkansas looked bad. They just couldn't defend anybody, and they're just out of sync. You got a lot of really good individual players. You don't have a really good team on the floor. Got a lot of really good individual players that can go toe-to-toe with just about anybody. But it's not a really good team. Let's just be real. I'm in the category of yes, I'm worried. I'm worried. Guys, Miami's not good. We've established that, but I want to make that clear. Miami is not good. I know someone's going to come back with everyone has their night, so on and so forth. 2-1 talent for Arkansas. 2-1. Easily. So, how did they end up? I guess we need to look at Arkansas. Did we go over Arkansas's first half numbers? No, we didn't. 42% from the floor in the first half, 13 of 31. 3 of 9. Now, this is where it gets wild. 3 of 9 shooting outside, okay? 3 of 4 at the free throw line. They did have 5 offensive boards somehow in the first half, according to ESPN, but they don't tell me who got those offensive boards. 17 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 blocks, or steals, 0 blocks, which I'm pretty sure they had a block in the first half. 7 turnovers. You go to the game, Arkansas ends up. Well, hold on, I don't want to spoil it yet. Let's start with Miami. How this game ended. Nigel Pack ended up with the game high points, 22 points, 6 boards. This guy was on fire. 6 rebounds, 3 offensive boards, 3 defensive boards. These guys end up with 33 rebounds. Arkansas ends up with 33 rebounds. Like, this is not – you got to win that category, right? They end up shooting 29 of 60, so that's just 48%. Arkansas holds them to one of their worst shooting performances at home on the year at 31%. The second half adjustments were nice. They made them. Miami, they had someone stuck to them the entire second half. Held them to 7 fewer points in the second half. And obviously Arkansas wanted to ratchet up transition ball. Like we've always said, that's their strength is transition ball, going up and down the floor quickly. They end up 6 of 8. Miami does at the free throw line. 8 offensive boards, 25 defensive boards, 14 assists, 3 steals, 4 blocks. I don't know about that. I don't know how accurate that is. I would have guessed 2. Maybe 3. ESPN says 4. They ended up with double-digit turnovers. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to rewatch this game, but 11 total turnovers, 12 fouls. 73 total points for for Miami. But Nigel Pack, this dude is hobbling up and down the floor. And he shoots 9 of 16, 3 of 7 outside. He kind of cooled off there. He was 1 for 2 at the free throw line, but he does get 22 points and 6 boards. And 6 assists. I mean, I don't know. That's what bothers me. This dude should have played so bad he had to sit the rest of the second half, but that's not what happened. Because your defense just, I don't know, I guess they felt bad for him. I don't know. They had 2 other players in double digits. Of course, Matthew Cleveland, who had a couple of really nice dunks. He ends up with a double-double, 15 points. Turnovers, just 2 total. 1 block, 10 boards, 8 defensive, 2 offensive. Then Blackman got hot outside too. He ends up going 4 of 7 outside, 12 points. So they were stretching the floor a little bit. But, again, they still end up with just 9 of 29, according to ESPN, 31%. Here's where it gets wild. Arkansas shot like pure shit in the first half outside. Not good. Shot selection was strange. Boogie was settling for that corner pocket 3. You know how I feel about that. If that's not your spot, don't make it. But he has, pretty sure he's drained a couple there. So it's hard to fault him. Shooters are going to shoot, and he's a 3-level shooter. He's a 3-level scorer. He could do it with the mid-range. He could finish at the rim, and he could shoot outside. You know, I mean, he could do it all, and he got hot. What a game for Boogie. What a game. 4 boards, 6 assists, 18 points. John L., hey, John L., are you here? Have you arrived? 3 of 6, 50% outside, 12 points, 5 boards. Got better defensively as the game went on. Arkansas shoots 48% to finish the game outside. That is insane. They've not been good at Bud Walton shooting the 3 ball, and they shoot 48% at Miami. 48% overall at 30 of 62, 11 of 23. Big Z, who was limited, he went 3 of 4 for 11 points. He was limited. He was hurting. Twisted his ankle. Is that what they said? 11 of 23. Dude, you're going to beat some teams with that. You're going to absolutely beat some teams with that. If you could play good team ball moving forward, find that chemistry, get it figured out with your perimeter defense. I don't know what's happened. It's like such an Achilles for this team. And I thought first several games of the year, like, all right, well, they're going to be all right at chasing guys out off the perimeter, and they're not doing it. These guys off the switches a little slow. It's not hard to create your own shot against Miami. How many times do we see them? They don't leave their feet like they did under Musselman. Remember, that was one of our biggest complaints. They would just hop at the guy trying to shoot the 3, and he would just scooch to the right, knock down the 3. This is just, they're late getting there. They're late getting to the shooter. I couldn't believe that. I could not believe when I pulled this up, and I keep refreshing it to see if this is an error, and I'm going to have to go look at the Arkansas the stat sheet here, the official sheet, and see what it says. 47.8% outside shooting for Arkansas. Fantastic. Again, the shot selection got better. The defense got much better in the second half. Miami made some just bullshit shots. Let's be real. They made some just like, okay, all right, only against Arkansas does he make that. They had several of those. Arkansas was able to bring that lead or chip away at Miami's lead, bring it down within like 4 or 5 points multiple times. You knew they were chipping away. There were definitely second half adjustments. They were doing things better. The hustle was better. The energy was better. And it's like it wasn't just one guy outside of, Fland lighting it up. But John L. Davis, again, 50% outside, dude, you're going to take that. You're fine with 3 of 6. You're fine with it. You want to see him do better. But Wagner, 1 of 2. Wagner ends up shooting 50% overall, 6 of 12, 14 points, 5 assists for Wagner. That's the good thing, man. You've got some guys that can dish the ball around. You've got guys that can find the open man outside. You've got guys that can dish underneath. I think some of their issue, I mean, just besides missing shots, poor shot selection, not finishing at the rim, like we said it, they're going to be able to get points in the paint. And they did. It wasn't their most, but they did. They got 36 points in the paint for Arkansas, 19 bench points. Again, you love that too because you're getting a little bit deeper. You're starting to spread out a little more. You're getting more guys on the floor. 11 second chance points. 9 offensive boards. I said you should be like 10, 11. They got close. I called it. I said you're going to be able to get some offensive boards. They should have had more. 9's not exactly great, but it's better than usual for Arkansas. They're one of the worst offensive rebounding teams in the country. And just 9 fast break points. Miami did everything they could with that half-court defense. Arkansas 5 of 6. They were 7, and I knew it. 7 of 17 on layups. 7 of 17. They struggled at the rim. And that's the thing. Like it was guys that normally, like Adu Thero and Brazil, like you feel like most of the time they're going to be able to make those points or get those buckets. Sometimes it just didn't fall for Arkansas. But again, going back to the first half, to me that's the problem. These slow starts, they're out of rhythm. What are you doing on offense? Like what are you a dribble drive squad? Like is that what you want to be? Do you want to try and settle for the open looks all the time outside? Like what are you? What is your team's offensive identity? We know what you're not on defense right now. You're not a great 3-point defending team. The wild thing is I think they can get way better at that. I think that's within reach for them to improve on the defensive end of the floor. Listen, again, Wagner, 14 points, 6 of 12, 1 of 2 outside, 1 of 2 at the free throw line. Now, that's also a little bit, I'm definitely not in love with the wasn't a lot of fouls tonight. Arkansas only got 9 attempts at the line, 5 of 9, 55%. That's going to hit your average on the year a little bit. I was a little bit surprised they weren't in more like let's draw some fouls. Let's get these guys in a little bit of trouble. Let's chip away at their bench. They legitimately could play 9 to 10 guys, and that's what they ended up doing. Not sure on the quality of minutes, but or the volume of minutes. But I really thought they were going to go into attack mode and really start to do that Musselman thing. Like let's start to chip away by getting to the free throw line a little bit. But to be fair, it ended up working out anyways. Couple possessions there at the end that were for Miami. Like, what are you doing? They looked lost in the final, minute of that game. Like they didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to win. Both teams with a lot of newbies. I think they said Miami had 10. Arkansas says, hold my beer. Again, the poll is a win is a win. Are you worried? But are you worried about hog hoops? 61% of you say yes. Again, I'm with the 61%. I am a little bit concerned for sure. Just thank God for Boogie, says Drooby Dooby Doo Show. Yeah, Boogie was fantastic. So there's no wonder who's getting the gold chain, right? I mean, come on. We've said it. We're going to have to rename this chain. Boogie Fland, I don't know how many times this year. This is already, I think this is like his third or fourth gold chain. He's got it, buddy. Postgame, Tusk Talk with Ty, postgame gold chain. Going to Boogie. I mean, the guy was clutch in the second half, making those threes and doing what he had to do to get points on the board for Arkansas. Defensively, he played much better. You didn't see as many dribble drives right to the rim where it was just, it was just so simple. Got better at the perimeter. Wasn't perfect in the second half, but it was definitely much improved for sure. Ty TB, the only big that can guard the pick and roll. Well, you're not wrong about that. I thought he did better. In that area too. Defensively, I thought Brazil, as the game went on, got more and more comfortable. Everything is brand new, says Josh McKinney. Locker room leader probably hasn't been established. Well, Thiero. Defensive communication is slow, and I agree with that. So we're going to look a half step too slow a lot early, says Josh McKinney. I don't think you're wrong. But it was the same story, and I get that was a different roster, and I get that was a different coach. Sometimes these things, sometimes you just are who you are, and it's hard to fix as the year goes on. We're not that far away. We're less than a month away from SEC play, right? January what? What's that date? January 4th. So we're almost exactly a month away from going on the road to Tennessee. I am concerned. I'm concerned because there's a lot of really good individuals on the floor. And again, what is the team? Now, Fland is, and I think Wagner too is starting to come around. Good teammates. They're willing to pass up what could be maybe an easier shot for someone else. They're fine with passing that up. They're fine with dishing the ball around a little bit, especially Boogie. Realistically, could have had even more points tonight, no doubt. Ty, second year in a row, we can't hit threes. Well, again tonight, I mean, we just went over it. They did in the second half. 47%. Almost 48%, 11 of 23. So they did tonight. They can't defend the three. I would argue that that's still a problem, and that's the thing, you know. seeing how nervous Thero's mom was about the free throws was very telling. Got to make the freebies at the end of the game to ice it, and that last possession for Miami should have been just not the way that it went, right? Ty's pumped again. How about the Hogs? I'm excited they found a way. And listen, this is the thing. This is the good part. It is a young team. It's a new team. They're trying to find the chemistry. They're trying to find all the things that work. Cal, again, he's digging. It's nothing new. I mean, Musselman had to do the same thing. This is something for a lot of teams. Maybe Miami will get it figured out. They have 10 new guys on that roster. Not a lot of continuity from a year ago, like a lot of teams, and sometimes it does take a little while to figure it out. Miami, like some of these teams, you're just supposed to be able to out-talent, and Miami couldn't do it. Again, you go back and look at some of their losses. Rough, man. And with Arkansas, they found a way tonight against Miami on the road, away from Bud Walton, against another team that's restacking their deck, adding new pieces to their deck, and they found a way. They got some talent. There's no doubt Miami's got some talent. I felt like Arkansas talent alone should have been able to lead most of this game. It should have been reversed with Miami with that 11-point lead. That should have been it felt like that should have been Arkansas. The talent is should be pretty much overwhelming. Arkansas, again, looking at the individuals, I know that that's only part of the battle, right? You got to put together a good product and a good team product on the field. But just the individual talent alone, far more talent on Arkansas's end. And that's why that first half was so surprising. They only shot 31%. Yeah. Yeah, they shot 31%. 9 of 29 Miami did. You had me tripping. I was like, wait, tell me I wasn't looking at Arkansas the wrong way there. That has happened before. It can happen. Who gets the direct service overhead gold Dookie rope chain? Player of the game. Yeah. That went to Mr. Fland. It's a good road win against a Power 5 school with a young team. Yeah, fair. It is. And they found a way, despite trailing that entire damn game, they found a way to get it done at the end. New coach, almost complete new team. Time will together will help, says Haas. I hope so. There's still some habits that this team has apparently picked up lately, and it does start with that perimeter defense. That's what's still concerning for me. Did not expect Miami to beat Arkansas off the dribble, especially a guy who's dealing with some injuries like Pack was. Pack beat, I mean, again, maybe I should go back and rewatch. I'm pretty sure Pack, with Fland guarding him, beat him right off the dribble straight to the rim. I mean, am I wrong? Did I miss that in the first half? This guy's hobbling, grimacing in pain. I just didn't expect that. I think there was one possession where Boogie on defense just kind of plants his feet and just held his hands up high. And it wasn't a drive straight to the rim. It ended up just being a 15-foot floater, whatever. But, like, he just kind of – it's almost like he just – I don't know. Like, maybe try to lunge at the ball. I don't know what that was. That was – it almost seemed like Boogie was like, all right, well, if he's gonna make it, he's got to stretch over my reach here, which is not very long. You're not Brazil, my man. You're not 7 foot. You're not Big Z. What are you doing? But again, in the second half, and to be fair, Boogie Fland this year has been good defensively. I'm not saying he's a bad defensive player. I just think they got off, either the Illinois game kind of creeped its way back into their heads a little bit. Maybe it was mental. They looked honestly about as bad as they did against, go back to whatever game you want to, including the exhibition loss. They looked that level of bad in the first half. So it is good to see them be able to overcome that. Billy Richmond, we talk about how often this is a guy that's coming off the bench and providing quite the spark. Richmond, what was his minutes tonight? What did he end up getting? It was 2 minutes tonight, which was interesting. We've been talking about why isn't he getting more minutes? No, hold on. That's points. That's stupid. He got more than that. I thought it was 8 or 9. 14. Okay, I was going to say. But it seemed like he didn't – it seemed like he had 2 points. Like he didn't have that same pizzazz. Maybe Miami just stepped up their game tonight. I don't know. Thero, probably the most surprising when you just talk about his lack of some of the shots that he missed. 30% shooting, 7 points, 0 for 2 outside, 1 of 3 at the free throw line. Got to make those free throws there at the end of the game. You got to make those. Your leading rebounder was John L. 5? What's ESPN saying? ESPN saying the same thing? He had a number of guys with 4 or 5. Yeah, looks like it. So John L. had 5 and Trevon Brazile had 5. Thero with 4, but he did have 4 assists, 7 points. So, yeah, I could have sworn I saw. Well, anyways, you got to tip your cap to Miami. They definitely won that first half. Played a really good game. I was curious how they were going to guard their center. They had Lynn Kidd. I was a little curious how they were going to deal with him, whether they were going to double team him, and you saw what happened when they did. They gave up an easy, wide open 3. He ended up with 8 points. Kidd did. 2 boards, 2 assists. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah. Carter Knox, he ended up with just 8 minutes tonight. He's -9 in the plus-minus. Boogie Fland, 11 in the plus-minus. And then your John L. Davis was 7 in the plus-minus. John L., again, very happy to see this dude. Like, maybe this is the lift-up game, Maybe this is the game that kind of opens him up, gets his confidence up a little bit. 3 of 6 outside. Again, you're going to live with it. That's 9 points just from the outside for him. 12 points overall. Not great at drawing fouls. That's not his game. He's supposed to be a catch and shoot. That's what he's supposed to be. And we haven't really seen that out of him this year. But 12 points, again, 3 of 6. I'm hoping this is his turnaround. See, this is what I'm talking about. ESPN had him at 14 points, did they not? No, okay, it was 12. Sometimes you're flipping back and forth between these stats, and it makes you look. You got to look again. Miami ended up with 29 points off the bench, 30 points in the paint, 17 points off Arkansas turnovers, 8 second chance points, and they also had 11 fast break points. Okay, Arkansas had 9. My bad. It was 11. It was 11 second chance points for Arkansas, 9 fast break. What'd they do on layups? They ended up going 5 of 8. Couple of highlight reel dunks tonight, man. That, yeah. Cause for sure going to be some stuff to watch on ESPN. It's going to be some fun highlight or SEC Network, wherever. Pretty, it was a good game. I mean, at the end of the day, as the game went on, it got better. And you started to feel like, especially when Arkansas was able to knock into that lead or chip away at the lead, and they were able to bring it within, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, you started to feel a little bit better. They tie it up. And then you kind of felt like, okay, Miami's bad enough and Arkansas's just good enough. They should be able to edge this one out. And that's what happened. And I've got to say, like, they have not done well leading or trailing at half. I think they said they were 0 for 2 on the year. Well, now they got one, right? So, again, you're overcoming some things. It is away from Bud Walton. It's on the road. You are a fairly young team. You're definitely a new team, like it feels like everybody else is. Well, if this is like any other Cal team, then by SEC play, we should be a dangerous team to prepare for, says Mr. Kicks. Hopefully. Right? I mean, that's the hope. Why Big Z never leading rebounder? Because he likes to stand around and knock down the threes. Z was 3 of 4 outside. Yeah, he had just 2 rebounds. But they don't mind him shooting the ball. He was 4 of 5. 0 free throw attempts. Again, he was limited tonight. $11 of 23 shooting outside. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, man. You're going to take that all day long. 15 threes was Illinois. Need to say no more, says Haas. Yeah. Mm-hmm. His threes gave us a chance to win. Absolutely. Big Z had an impact on this game. And that's what I'm loving about it, man. I mean, this guy's hobbled too. We're talking about their player that was hobbled. So was Big Z, man, and he still had an impact on this game. He still was able to step in and help. He might not have the clutch. He maybe wasn't clutch like Boogie was, but had a couple of really nice threes that really kind of changed the attitude of the game a little bit. But Big Z ended up with 13 minutes tonight. And we know fully healthy he's getting way more than that. So just 13 minutes. Billy Richmond had 14. Carter Knox with 8. The most minutes on the floor, Adu Thera with 38. DJ Wagner had 37. Boogie Fland with 32. John L. with 26. I mean, again, like I like that you weren't. It's not like we needed that Billy Richmond spark. You know what I mean? You didn't, you're not begging for that Billy Richmond spark. Nelly stepped up. Of course, Boogie Fland stepped up. Big Z had an impact. Defensively, this team got better as the game went on. These are really good signs. Those are good signs that they were able to overcome. But again, against the better opponent, though, that deficit, it's a lot. It's worse. It's a lot harder to overcome. Miami is not good. I'll be surprised if Miami gets it figured out, but that's just me. Last season, Kentucky started off slow, Ty, and then by SEC play, they figured it out. Yeah, listen, I'm not debating that, Kicks. I get it. I got you, bro. Chill. I get it. Pace was nice, too. It felt like in the second half, they've kind of found that chemistry a little bit. I know Big Z only having 2 boards drives Mello crazy. I mean, listen, anytime you got a 7-footer on the floor, though, right? Anytime you got a 7-footer on the floor, yeah, he ought to have more rebounds. I get it. They'll make the first. Let's see. They'll make the. This is Daniel Bullock. They'll make the first tourney as an 8 or 9 seed and lose the first game. All right. Well, there's a Kentucky fan. Spotted the Kentucky fan. That might be the case. I mean, the way things are starting, I don't know, man. Hopefully they get better. Hopefully they find their rhythm. Get a little chemistry going, and who knows? I mean, that's the thing. It's you're talking about the ceiling of this team and how it should be. It should be pretty high considering the talent. I'm so happy for a win, says Boogie Fland for 3. Yeah, I don't know what to make of Bobby Petrino's coming back, or well, he turned down the Charlotte job. Listen, he's going to be connected to more jobs. I mean, he is. Hog fans just kind of looking for some wins. Looking for some wins, man, and hopefully they get some this week. Hopefully you maybe flip some commitments. I don't know. Maybe you grab some guys out of the portal next week. Looking for wins. Tonight was nice. Even though it's against a not-so-great Miami team. At least I don't think they're going to – who knows? They might figure it out. But right now, they're not a good basketball team. That's what I know. And Arkansas struggled, but they did find a way, and that shows signs of maturity for sure. But overall, Hog fans are looking for wins wherever they could find them. And you know, you'll take this. A win is a win, no matter how ugly, right? I mean, sure. Do I think they still have things to be concerned about? Yeah, I do. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I don't think so. No, I think they do. There's certainly some things they have to get. They got to get, got to get it done. Got to get better. Got to improve in certain areas. It's definitely looking like the staff focus on retaining the current roster, says Brim. Yeah, so who is it right now? Xavion Sorey, Cam Ball is coming back. Sorey is huge. Now, I wouldn't have suspected him. He's not a draft pick yet. I mean, I don't think he is. I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe if he were to go to the combine, he was a highly rated player out of high school and everything, but I think he needs another year. Glad to get him back, assuming he doesn't change his mind, assuming he doesn't have someone whisper into his ear, right? Assuming he doesn't get just keep his name, just stay out of the portal. I'm always hesitant when players say, no, I'm back. Glad to be back, or whatever, or let's run it back. I'm still hesitant, man, because I feel like Arkansas has been burned by that a few times. Talon is probably coming back since Singleton left. Yeah. Oh, that's what we got. Daniel Bullock says, I'm not a Kentucky fan. I'm being realistic. All right. Well, you might be right, man. I don't know. They in every live show that Arkansas is playing. Oh, well, I don't know that we've had very many. Have there been Kentucky fans in chat? I haven't seen that many. So, yeah. All right, we're gonna end this one a little short. We're gonna cut it early. I'm gonna go eat my burger. The poll is done with. Right there it is. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I'm gonna be back this week. Going to bring on Courtney. We're gonna do kind of an end of the year review, and then kind of looking ahead. So I'm excited about that. Don't know how much more content. Wait, when does Arkansas play again? Hold on. Don't they turn around and play? Yeah, okay, December 7th, so Saturday. For some reason, I was thinking that UTSA game might be Friday. But so Saturday at 1 p.m., SEC Plus against UTSA. So we will have the post game for that. And then, yeah, of course, we're going to do this week. We're going to do recaps on Arkansas football for the season. We're going to talk about it. Ty, what one thing you like and dislike about the team so far? So you're talking, basketball, right? We're not talking about football. Obviously, Up until the last couple of games, I thought defensively they were pretty solid. I thought defensively they were solid. Their perimeter defense was pretty active. They have active hands. Again, up until Illinois, right? I love the way they use their hands. They're able to swipe out. They're capable of getting racking up steals, blocks. You know, I think it's still a little too early. Boogie Fland, I love watching that dude play. I mean, I'm thrilled with what he did tonight. Things I don't like, they're still just not I just don't think they have any identity what they are on the offensive end of the floor. There's a lot of things here they've got to get straightened out. I don't know. It's really early for me to say what I like and dislike. I can tell you what I've seen so far that sticks out as problematic. Listen, again, tonight they found a way in the second half knocking down threes. I mean, they shot 48% outside overall in this game away from Bud Walton. That's a really good sign. But, they haven't been able to do that consistently all year. They've been a pretty bad shooting team, right? Shot selection hasn't been a problem. I thought tonight, especially in the first half, some of their shot selection was a little iffy. But for the most part, shots just haven't been falling for them, period. I don't know. We got a little ways to go. But there are some things to like about this team, like I mentioned. I mean, Boogie Fland, he's a solid two-way player on the floor. You feel pretty good about what's going on at the one spot, right? You got a couple of guys that can man that position down between Boogie and DJ Wagner. You're starting to get healthier, and we're starting to maybe figure some things out in the paint. I kind of thought they would score more points underneath. That's what they need to be. That's the kind of team I think they should be. Because their guards so far they've just not been great. They really haven't. Again, outside of Boogie, that's what's surprising. The talent level of these guards really high. And so far, just like Boogie Fland's the only guy that's really shown up. So maybe you need to be an inside-outside team. I don't know. But, yeah, get back to me by SEC play. Maybe I can answer that a little better. They don't give up. They do play, and they play for Cal. Like I said, there are some things to like, and there's several things you want to see them get better at. So, all right. Just think what Adu coming back will do for this team. I agree with that too. Yeah, I mean, getting these guys healthy. I don't know if that's going to happen at any point this year, but getting the whole team healthy is going to go a long ways. All right. Again, that's it. I'll be back sometime this week. It might even be tomorrow. I don't know. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, notification bell, all that stuff. That way you can at least pray to God you get a notification or you get an alert that I've gone live, so that way you don't miss it. But, yeah, all right. Till then, I'm going to go eat a burger. You guys have a good night, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.